I'll never see you again, even if I wanted to, and I'll have to live with that. Today I want to talk about something a little bit more serious, something that a lot of us take for granted or don't even think of. I want to first start by talking about moments. Like, what is a moment? A moment is a very brief period of time. A moment is something that we remember that may have been a small moment or a big moment, something we worked for, something that just happened to us without planning on it. These moments shape us who we are, and they are also something that give us a reason to live. We create moments every single day, and we look back on moments even more, remembering the good old days, the good times. Well, I want to talk about a side of moments that a lot of us take for granted. So I want to talk about a personal moment that happened in my life that will trigger something that happened in your life, or a moment in your past that relates to this very moment that I'm going to talk about. Back about 10 years ago, when I was about 12 years old, I met a girl online by the name of Mary. Me and Mary met online on the PlayStation 3 back when, you're a kid gaming all the time. And we came across each other just through a match lobby in World at War. I forget who added who, but I added her or she added me after we were talking over the mics in our lobby. We just started talking and I was like, hey, I'm going to add you. And she's like, all right, I'll add you too. Me and her would be playing online all the time. Because of that moment where we just joined in a random lobby, we were able to communicate and find out we liked each other for some reason and added each other, and we became great online friends. We actually gamed like consistently a couple times a week all the time. I'd be online, invite her to my matches, or we just play custom games, or we'd play zombies, just play Call of Duty all the time together. She was like super cool, and I could tell she was a couple years older because she sounded older in her voice. And one day, a couple months into it, I was like, hey, like we've been gaming so much and, playing zombies all the time and just talking and getting personal and all this, like, let's Skype, and she's like, let's do it right now. So I pulled out my little Logitech old USB plug-in camera to hook up to my computer, and we Skyped, and I got to see her, and I was like, oh my gosh, you're so beautiful. And yes, I was 12 years old, and every girl's beautiful to you at that time of your life. But she was really beautiful, and she was probably 3 to 4 years older than me. And this wasn't like oh my gosh, she's like super hot, and she's a gamer, like, oh my gosh, this is so awesome. Like, no, it was just like, even at 12 years old, I knew she was pretty, but more than that, I knew that she was a great gamer. Like, she knew what she was doing, and overall, she was just a really great person. We had a bunch of similar hobbies, and she was just really fun to talk to, really fun to play with. Like, we would stay up till 3 a.m. playing Call of Duty, like, a couple times a week. Like, every time I hopped on at, like, 10 o'clock after the homework was done, I'd hop online, and she'd be on, I'm like, hey, let's play, and we jump into a lobby and stay up till 3, 4 in the morning. I'm like, yo, I have school in the morning, and she's like, yeah, I do too. I was like, yeah, we should probably go to bed. So it was a lot of that. But like, I don't want to make it seem like this was a huge part of my childhood. Like, that's actually the opposite of why I'm making this video. This was actually a very small portion of my childhood. Like, yes, we would sometimes message each other, hey, you gonna be on tonight, and like plan to get on together. But majority of the time it was like I was hopping on, she was already on, or vice versa, and we just joined lobby, start playing. Like, it wasn't a very like important part of my childhood. It was consistent. We were good friends, and we played a lot. We were trying to level up our guys, and we were just going ham onto it. But again, this was a subconscious moment for me where I started to realize later on that she was always there. Like, she's not an asset of my childhood, but she was conveniently there, and so when she was conveniently there, we would play together. But we never went out of our way to like meet each other, ask for addresses or anything like that. We were just online gaming friends. We Skyped a couple times, but besides that, we were just game buddies. So we would do that on and off, play all the time, not play all the time. One of us would be busy or leaving or whatever, for about 2 years. When I started turning 14, things got a little weird. Like, she was not on as much at all. Like, I'd actually even message her and it'd take her a week or two to respond, let alone she was not getting on anymore. And I remember asking her, she's like, oh, like school and life and blah, blah, blah. Like, so she wasn't able to game as much, and she wasn't as big of a gamer anymore. So we kind of just started losing touch, again, around that time I started turning 14. And so a couple months later, I was cleaning out my friends list, and I found this website online that was like super sketchy at the time, but you put in all your information and it would delete all your friends like in one button. That way you don't have to click independently. And this is when I started doing my gaming career, and I started getting these invites and these random friends, and I was like, okay, I need to clear all my friends out, and so I accept everybody, just be friends with people I know. And without thinking, I deleted everybody at the click of a button. And I went back in and started adding back like my cousins and my best friend and my brothers and all these people that I know. And I was like, oh no, I forgot to add one person back. I forgot to write one person's username down. And that was Mary. We hadn't played for a couple of months, even probably more than that at that time, that I didn't even think about writing her username down, because I remembered everybody else's from playing with them, you know, so recent in that moment, that I forgot to write hers down. And I started to panic a little bit. I was like, oh my gosh, like, you know, so I started trying to find her username, and I went online and I just tried to find in every which way I could, XXX Massacre Mary or Mary X Massacre. It was something like Mary. It had a bunch of X's. It had Mary and Massacre and some more X's, and maybe an X in the middle or underscore. It had a bunch of stuff. I don't remember how she spelled it. I remember spending like 2 hours trying to add this girl, and I could not figure it out. And even when I did send out a friend request, I didn't even know if that was the right person, and she hasn't even been on them for a couple months. So I don't know. There's no way for me to find out what her username was, and even if she added me back, to find out if that was actually her or just some other random person I added. And so in that moment, you know, I was panicking, because this is one of my gaming friends I've had for years, but I ended up just, okay, I can't add her. Like, she'll add me back, and she never did. 8 years later, and she never added me back. So even if she wanted to contact me, she couldn't. Obviously, I can't contact her because I never wrote down her username. I never even got her last name. I just know her name was Mary. That's it. And remember, at the time, at least for me, I wasn't super into social media. It wasn't common for me and my friends to add every friend we ever made and to find everybody on. I think MySpace was still big at the time, or maybe Facebook was, I don't remember top of my head, but nevertheless, we weren't on social media all the time. We weren't adding everybody we met or remembering last names, things like that. We were just... it wasn't common. Now, because of my new account on PlayStation, and because I can't remember her name, I will never see her again, never talk to her again, never play with her again, and I have to live with that. This is my point to the whole video. Think back to a time that you were traveling, maybe across country, and you ran into a couple. And maybe you just stood in line with them and talked to them, or maybe you talked to them so much you sat down and ate lunch with them, and you're just enjoying the moment, like, where are you from? Like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. This is what I do. What do you do? And you're experiencing this moment with this random couple that at the same, like, the craziest thing, you in this huge world are right here at this moment, and here's this other person showing up at the same gas station or something at the exact same moment, and you share a moment with them. You share a memory with them. And so you're talking and you have lunch or whatever, and then they leave. You know, you wave, hey, it was good having lunch with you, and they walk away, and you realize you don't even remember their first names. They told you at once and you forgot it, nor do you know their last names, or did you share socials. You just shared a moment with them, and you'll never talk to that person again. And I know people watching this will trigger a moment for you. Oh, you know, that one time I was a kid, and I played with this kid for maybe 8 months or a year, and we were, 10 years old, and we were always playing basketball, and we were just always playing around, and then one day his parents said they were moving, and they moved away, and that was the last you saw of Billy. He's gone, and you'll never talk to that person again, but you shared those moments, that whole memory with that person, and you'll never talk to them again. And I know this is super hypothetical in some way, because social media is so big and everybody is adding everybody. These small moments is what I want you to really think about. And I'm not saying we need to add everybody, but to live in that moment and to be friends with somebody and to share an experience with someone, like I said, at a gas station, or if you're traveling for like a week-long vacation and you run into the same couple like 3 times that's staying at your hotel, and you're like, hey, how was that hot dog? I see you guys eating it. And you're just laughing, you're joking. And again, when your vacation ends and you come home, you'll never see them again. You'll never talk to them again. that is, it's like the most beautiful, tragic thing I've ever heard is sharing a moment with someone that not maybe shaped your life, but gave you something to look back and remember. Like, I remember that couple. What a nice couple. What nice people. It brings joy to your heart. It brings so much love and positivity to your heart, saying that you shared something with somebody else. And who knows, they're probably thinking back to you. Like, you know, I think about Mary, you know, every now and again, like, man, like, we played so much games together and shared so many good moments, and now I wonder on her end, is she thinking about me? Like, does she ever look back and be like, man, I miss that Gage kid? Me and him would play all the time for hours on end. But I'll never know that. I'll never know where she is in this world, and she'll never know where I am. Losing her username means that I will never be able to see her again, talk to her again, game with her again. So when this moment happens to you, realize it, live in it, and feel it, and make that moment become a part of who you are as a person, and add it to the moments of your life that make your life your life. This whole video was just to wake you up a little bit about these small moments, about these people that you'll meet, communicate with, talk to, have a good moment with, and may never talk or see again. I'll never remember Mary's username for the life of me, but I'll always remember the memories shared and the fun times we had and the deep personal level that we got to as just online friends to have a part of my life, and to be a part of hers was a very unlikely moment of us just being online and randomly being selected into the same lobby. I'll have to live with knowing that I may never see you again. That is the video. That is the video. Thank you guys for watching this video. I know it was a very different one, but I just wanted to hit something that not a lot of people talk about, and to make you realize something, and to bring one last important question to you. What is a memory you shared that was in the moment and with somebody that you will possibly and most likely never see again? Drop it in the comments below. Please share these moments, because these moments are so special and good to remember in our minds. I would love to hear your guys' moments. Thank you guys for watching. I love you all faces, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace out.